Welcome to Kohut's Corner. I'm Mr. Kohut, principal of Swampscott High School. Happy New Year. X-Mic is Swampscott High School's monthly open mic performance. That sentence really didn't do it justice in terms of description, so I thought I'd invite two of our X-Mic producers to Kohut's Corner. Welcome. Please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what your role is as part of X-Mic.
Hello, I'm Alex Shiloh, and I am the host of X-Mic.
Hi, I'm Jamie DeFilippi. I'm the lead producer, so the booking acts and organizing part of it.
So I'm going to try to, describe the indescribable. What is X-Mic?
X-Mic for me is the opportunity for students to share their creative talent and just have some fun. And it's also, I think, a really good opportunity for students to get a look into how production of a show can be.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think to go into even more detail, to me there's kind of three parts of it. There's the audience, the performers, and the production team, which, obviously that's dumbing it down a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think there's a unique community in each one of those. Like the audience and the performers, and the host, they feel connected. Like it's sort of three sections of people that kind of come into one, it's one big community.
I think it must be a real challenge to, just from my perspective, watching the work that you both do on this, to put this together. It's a 25, maybe 20-minute show, right?
Yeah.
All told, from when everybody gets seated and everything. What goes into putting this together? How much preparation before you actually shoot it, put it together? I shouldn't say shoot it, perform it.
Yeah, I think that's more like my end of things, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, traditionally for X-Mic, the host and the producer were really one person.
Yeah.
And the X-Mic crew was really only 5 to 6 people. This year we got a lot more crew and a lot more interest in being on the crew. And I think Alex was really into the performative aspect of it all, but don't let me speak for you. I don't know if...
No, that's accurate.
Yeah, he was really into the performative part of it.
Yeah.
And I think I myself I'm really into the production, the tech, the planning. So I think, but I could never go on stage in front of all those people. I'd die. So I think splitting it up this year, I took that role of producer.
Yep.
So I think I'll say how I spend my time, and then you say how you spend yours.
Mm-hmm.
I spend my time talking with everybody, seeing if anyone knows about acts we can get.
Yep.
Because people that really want to perform, they'll sign up on the forms we have on the Instagram. Quick plug, X-Mic Instagram. Sign up on there if you want to perform.
Great.
But sometimes it takes seeking out acts. There's some of our best acts, the rice cooking that happened last time, the gingerbread house, classical piano playing. That's all because we were hunting
Right.
for acts. So I spend my time hunting for acts, emailing potential acts, putting that schedule together, and sort of making sure everyone is doing what they need to be doing. So I don't know, getting tech ready, getting the music. There's a lot that goes into it.
Sure.
So I think my end is kind of making sure people are doing what they need to be doing.
Sure.
I spend most of my time looking at what the month is, looking at things going on, and then planning, I guess, how I can keep the audience engaged around that theme, such as Halloween, keeping it spooky,
Right.
Christmas themes. I also talk to the cast, figure out what they need from me, introductions, stuff like that. I think I'm lucky to have the much lighter workload. I couldn't do anything without Jamie here, but I feel I'm doing my best.
You're both doing great. For us, from the teachers and the staff and the administrative perspective, we just wanted an event that helps to try to build community in the school, something that's special and also highlights kids, right? And for me, one of the coolest things is kids performing who I would otherwise have no idea that those kids had that interest or talent. That's really cool to see. So when it comes to some of the ideas that either get pitched to you or you think about, have there been any that you felt like, maybe we're not going to do that? Or are you just like, let's just do it?
I think our thought most of the time is like, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Like I think the rice cooking one is a good example. Like I guess if you didn't know about it, last X Mic we had 2 guys just frying rice off to the side. I don't know how many people actually noticed it, but originally they were going to just be doing it as people were walking in, and then we had a new idea. We're like, oh, what if they do it off to the side the whole time? Then we're like, no, it should be its own act. So when someone comes to us with I don't know the right word, like an unconventional idea or something that we feel might be difficult to do, it's less so like, we're less pushing them away and more just kind of being like, how can we adapt this to work?
Sure.
And I think what we did worked because it was a good little joke for the people who noticed, and if you didn't notice, you didn't notice. I think it worked perfectly.
Tasted good too.
Yeah.
And it kind of ran the whole, throughout the entire thing, right? Yeah, it was fun. I think throughout X Mic over the years, as it's like kind of evolved, I feel like this year it's definitely like a thing that everybody now knows what it is and is looking forward to. I think for a few years, people just didn't know what it was. And now that's no longer a thing, and now everybody is looking forward to it. So we really appreciate all that you're doing with X Mic. And when's the next one?
It's the last Friday of this month, right?
Yes, I believe January 31st. I've been told.
Okay. So January,
I think so, yeah.
January 31st.
You gotta be
is
there.
The next X Mic, you have to be there.
Unless it gets
Alex will
rescheduled.
be announcing, yes, unless there's a different schedule or a snow day, because sometimes it snows in Massachusetts. So make sure to check out X Mic on January 31st. Thank you both for being on Kohut's Corner.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It's been a lifelong dream to be on Kohut's Corner.
Glad I could make that happen. This year, the Swampscott Public Schools hired 2 new co-directors for the METCO program. Joining me on Kohut's Corner are our METCO co-directors, Krista Lynch and Temmie Bailey. Welcome to Kohut's Corner.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So for those folks in the audience who maybe aren't familiar with the METCO program, can you tell them a little bit about what METCO is?
Sure. One thing people don't truly know is what METCO stands for. And METCO stands for the Metropolitan Council for Educational Opportunity. It was started by a group of parents in 1966 is when our first students had gone to other schools, and Swampscott joined the METCO community in 1968.
Yeah, so METCO is more of a modern version of the Boston busing from back in the day. So it was an initiative to get more inner city kids to more affluent towns, affluent areas for better education, and to more diversify those towns as well. So that is what we have nowadays. And to be honest, I think it's an amazing experience. It allows kids from different backgrounds to learn about each other, experience different things, and then you get kids from the towns that the Boston kids are going to, they get to go back to Boston, find out what it's like out there.
Right.
The kids from Boston get a different viewpoint from like the city that they live in, that they know that there's more to life than what they're from.
Yeah, absolutely. So as co-directors, you've both been in the district for a while doing other things. So tell us a little bit about, or I guess tell the audience a little bit about like your experiences before becoming co-directors.
Okay, I always knew I wanted to work with students and kids. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, so I went to college and majored in education, and I got my first teaching job in 1994 in Ipswich, and I was a second grade teacher. I taught third grade, I've taught first grade. And then I had met a friend who lived in Weston, and I had been teaching my own classroom. I was a math teacher at the time, who was telling me about this METCO program, and I had never heard of it. It wasn't in the town I grew up in. It was telling me a little bit about what it was about, and I thought it was really interesting, and I kind of like looked into it, but that's where it was with that. And then over winter break, somebody came up to me and said there's a position open for a METCO tutor. And at that time, I had taken a year off from school for my children, and I looked into the job, and it was just for a tutor position. It wasn't your own classroom, it wasn't anything like that. So I applied for it, and I came in, and I fell in love. So I was a tutor for a couple of years, and then last year I became an academic coordinator, and which led to becoming co-director this year.
That's great.
Yeah, for me, ironically, I was actually familiar with the METCO program before coming here. I'm from Springfield. Out there, we have the same thing, but it's more of a lottery program.
Yep.
So you enter the lottery, and if you get picked, you get picked. If not, you just re-enter each year. But I started here as the math tutor for the high school. Yep. My second year, I became the METCO tutor, and just like Krista, was that for 2 years. Last year, we became the academic coordinator and moved on to co-director. Honestly, it's been a great experience getting to know these kids, getting to see the best of both worlds experience that they're getting, and just seeing a lot of them thrive from it too.
That's great. That's great. So in terms of co-directors, right, there's two of you. So where you're, I guess, spend most of your time, where are you located during the school day? So if people in the audience are looking to get in touch with you, or
We have about 60 students in the program, and it just kind of fell this way where 30 of them were here, or 31 were here at the high school,
Yep.
and then it was split between 13 and 15 at the middle and elementary. So we kind of divided where Temi focuses on the high school,
Right.
I focus on middle and elementary, but we still work together. Temi goes to all the schools. So during the day, I'm mostly at the middle and elementary school, but if anybody ever needed to get in touch with me, you can email me. We have a METCO website that's up on the district with our emails and our phone numbers, but that's usually where I'm positioned.
Yeah, and everyone knows where to find me up at the high school. I have my office, which is right next to the METCO office on the second floor. And contact, like she said, we have the METCO website, so you can go look up Swampscott METCO. It'll redirect you to our page, and you'll have all our contact info from our emails to our phone numbers on that.
great. And so every year there's usually a lot of kind of upcoming events that tend to happen in the spring. So what are some of the upcoming events that are either associated with METCO, or are things that you both are kind of spearheading?
So coming up, so Black History Month, Krista down at the middle school, Krista down at the middle school, she usually runs a door decorating contest
Yep.
every year. Last year, I, along with 2 METCO kids and the superintendent, went down to judge those. It was a great experience. The kids love it. They love getting involved in that.
This year we're bringing it to the elementary school as well.
Okay.
So we're going to have that
So door decorating.
door
Yep.
decorating at the elementary school.
Great.
Yeah, and then up here at the high school, so every year for the past 3 years, we've collabed with the Senior Center to do a Black History Month project.
Yep.
First year was a documentary, second year was a quilt, and last year we did METCO parent panelist at the Senior Center. This year I actually just met with Sabrina, so we're planning on doing something to bring the community as well as the kids in the school together as well.
Great.
And we're planning on doing like a double whammy where we have something during the day and something at night for the community as well.
That's great. That's terrific.
Yeah, and then moving on from that, we have the teacher versus student game, which is basically, it's a huge community event. I love it because, to be honest, it's the only time I ever see that gym fully packed.
You're right.
You got,
Yeah. It's been, I didn't go last year, but 2 years ago.
So it was packed. You got all the
yeah.
little kids running around.
Yeah.
It's a great experience. It's good vibes for everyone.
Yep.
And then besides that, we also have the Heritage Festival in Juneteenth. The Heritage Festival was actually started by Krista a couple years ago.
We started it in 2019. We started it at the high school, and it was just about getting, I think we had like 10 tables
Yeah,
maybe.
it wasn't big.
It wasn't even that many, where everybody kind of brought in food or, items like from their heritage. And then it grew. We did it after school. Kids kind of stopped in on the way out to get the bus or on their way home, tried some food, talked. And then it kind of every year got bigger and bigger. And we had it at the high school where we'd use the whole cafeteria. Till last year, Temi bringing it to
The town hall. So
Right.
we met with Danielle Strauss and we collabed with her on running the Heritage Festival at town hall. It was a great event. We had over 30 tables with 30 different countries. We had around 400 plus people there. It was a great experience. It was like, for those of you that know Swampscott, it was a very, very diverse get together.
And it's in May, right?
Yeah, it's in
usually
May.
May, yeah.
April, May, yeah.
Yeah, great. That's terrific. All right, well, thank you both for coming on Kohut's Corner.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having us.
This episode's book review is, have it right here, The Infernal Machine by Stephen Johnson. Johnson traces Nobel's invention of dynamite and how that invention helped humanity, for example, with blasting tunnels for railroads, but also created a cheap and deadly device that criminals soon took advantage of. In turn, police departments, such as the New York Police Department, developed modern law enforcement tactics like fingerprinting and surveillance to counter the threat posed by terrorists armed with dynamite. I learned so much from this book, and I couldn't put it down. I highly recommend it. I want to take some time to recognize the Kohut's Corner production team. We'll have a new group next quarter, so thank you all for your hard work. You did such a great job. Just so people know, those watching this, it's entirely produced and shot by students here at Swampscott High School. Thanks for joining me on Kohut's Corner. I'll see you next time.